Today's a good day because we get to give ourselves a bunch of thumbs up across the board. And if you were subscribed, you would have seen that we were looking for a bounce today. The question to answer today is we got the bounce that we wanted, but is this the bounce that we needed? My Sunday night video is when I'm going to go more into the charts and the seasonality and the scenarios that I see playing out over the next few days. For today, we're just going to break down what happened. And what happened on the yields is we really backed off in the morning, which gave us that pop in the TLT. And then you see we are starting to buy back up around these moving averages. And this is causing me to start to change everything about my theory. Let's switch over to TLT because Sunday, I'm going to give you all of those scenarios. Right now, TLT, we did see that big pop to the upside, which we said in yesterday's video, if you were subscribed, that it could come back and find some buyers. But we saw in the aftermarket, it looked like the yield was backing off. So this thing, I actually suggested that by morning, it could just skyrocket to the upside. But let's look at Apple. Now, Apple, we can go a little more in depth to. We actually marked out this resist or support zone, and I actually went back and showed you how much support is in this area. We dipped down into it. We kind of came out, we fizzled around, and then I said that most likely what I wanted to happen in order to take a trade was for this to come back down for another dip in this area. That did not happen. We actually shot up to the upside, and we'll look at the indices soon to show you why this thing might have faded. But overall, right now, all we can say is we have a MACD that looks like it might curl over, but we'll have to decide by Sunday if we are going to come back into this zone and get some buyers, or if we are going to mark this as a higher low and then extend to the upside before the CPI. And I will touch on that this Sunday around 7 o'clock. For once in my life, I actually might talk about Tesla more than Apple in Sunday's video because we actually came out of this consolidation we saw forming over the last few days, which is exactly what we thought would happen. We thought that we were kind of low, we were coming up, maybe we would dip down and then break out. And I believe that that would have been the healthier option. And that's why we are seeing this sell off. So now we have the same scenario as Apple. Are we going to get a higher low, or are we going to kind of consolidate here and then come to the bottom or even break this by the time of the CPI? I want to talk good news for Tesla. We do have a MACD that is getting pretty tight in here. We are coiling up in this consolidation. We did have a fake out, which could mean that we could see this actually break the opposite way. But right now we are seeing a little bit of basing out. This could possibly just break down into the bottom here, or we could see this as that lower or higher low scenario, and then we just start ripping to the upside to a price point of, I think it's right around 270. Yep, 270. So we're gonna have to touch on this a lot on Sunday, so check back if you're a Tesla trader. As we get into the SPY, we actually saw that this wedge was forming, and I actually showed you there was a tiny divergence down here on the RSI and on the MACD, and this could play out to the upside. Now, I did say this looked like it was fizzling out, and we might need to take just a little double dip to then go find some buyers, give us a little better divergence, and then play to the upside. I do believe that that would have been the healthier option because as we see playing out with us today is we went from here and we just went all the way up to the daily expected move for today, which we held at and then we tapered off from. And as you can see now, maybe the higher or the higher low scenario is going to play out because the post market is actually bouncing and we bounced in that last 30 minutes of the day. The only thing I'll say about the SPY on the MACD is, well, on the RSI, we were below 50. We're kind of touching it right now. And on the MACD, we actually did see a red impression on the histogram, which could have signaled to me at the time that this thing was going to dip lower to go find some more buyers. But now we are starting to see at the end of the day a green bar tick up. So at this point, I'll have to look at it over the weekend and make sure to come up with a good analysis for you because this thing easily could be a lower high here and we just could, or a higher low here, and we could just start seeing it extend to the upside, or we could possibly be actually turning down and the end of the day was a fake out, and then maybe we start to see that turn higher. And this is what's important is Monday. I do want to touch on the seasonality for you guys. I'm going to actually show it to you so that you can see how Monday looks like it might be the last down day, and then we might start to see actually a bounce with the CPI. The cues look rather similar to the SPY. We had this rip up yesterday that came into here. It actually touched our resistance level, and I said that I would like to see it back off and go find some more buyers before moving higher, because that seemed like the healthier option. We didn't do that, and that's why we are now seeing this move fade right here at that gap fill all the way down. Now, this could be an ABC pattern. The difference from here is we actually did not get that red impression on the histogram here. So we do not have a cross. We actually have a rejection, which could lead me to believe that this actually is a lower high, and maybe Monday, even though the seasonality says it could be bad and go for another dip lower, maybe we actually start extending to the upside into the CPI, and maybe we even shrug off the CPI and move a little higher. Look, it's a short and sweet one today, but all I wanted to do was look at this stuff some more over the weekend so that I could come up with some better theories for you by Sunday so that you can have a good outlook for the week ahead. So subscribe if you want to see that video on Sunday, and I just hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, okay? Peace.